11:47 is not an oversight.
Well, flights book up.
Sure they do. I'm 34, I work from home part-time, and for the past 14 months or so, my husband and I have been in the middle of a domestic adoption process. I don't say that for sympathy, I just say it because it's the context for everything else, and none of this makes sense without it. We have a bag packed by the front door, just a small duffel, nothing dramatic, the kind you put together when someone tells you to be ready, but can't tell you for what or when. It's been there so long I've stopped seeing it. My husband has a sister. She's 27, and she has some cognitive and communication support needs, and she lives with their mother, who is 59 and handles everything related to her care, including her travel, her appointments, her scheduling, all of it. His sister visits twice a year, has for years, and it's genuinely one of the things my husband looks forward to, even when the logistics around it are complicated, which they usually are. His relationship with his mother is a whole other thing. Cordial is probably the most accurate word. He calls when he should, he responds to messages, but it's the kind of relationship where you can feel the structure of it, the effort underneath the normalcy, the way he gets quiet for a few hours after they talk. Did something come in? Is it the coordinator? What is it? What does it say? Okay, wait, let me just, hold on, the brightness. There's no message. There's nothing else? The email came on a Tuesday. My husband was standing at the kitchen counter, doing something with the mail, and I was at the table with my phone. He got a notification, looked at his phone, and then just kind of stood there. He didn't say anything, and I didn't look up right away. When he handed it to me without a word, I had my screen brightness all the way up, and I still had to tilt it to read it properly. It was a forwarded email. No message in the body, no note, nothing. Just a flight itinerary. Departure city. Arrival time. Date. She knew.
Well, flights book up.
Sure they do. 11:47 is not an oversight. I'm not going to say anything right now. The date was inside the window we had asked his mother to keep clear. We'd been specific about it. Just a few weeks. A window we'd identified based on what our adoption coordinator had told us, the range of time when a placement call was most likely. We hadn't announced it publicly or anything, but we'd told his mother, and we'd been clear. We'd even offered alternative dates that would work better. The arrival time on the itinerary was 11:47 p.m. You book 11:47 p.m. when it's the cheapest option, or when you've booked late, or when you're not particularly thinking about who might need to be at the gate. I didn't say any of that. I just handed the phone back and went to refill my water. Did you end up saying anything to her? You printed it. I'm not asking you to do anything. I don't know what we're doing with this. Okay. My husband didn't call his mother after the email. He didn't respond to the forwarded itinerary with a question or a pushback or even a simple acknowledgement. He printed it out instead. I came downstairs the next morning and it was on the counter next to the coffee maker, face up, and I thought it was something I'd left there. And then I recognized it and just made my coffee and went to my desk. The itinerary stayed on the counter. I moved it once to wipe underneath it and put it back.
I'm so excited to meet the baby. I'm really excited.
Who told her that? We haven't said anything like that to anyone. She's happy about it, I know, I just want to know where she heard it. Later that week, there was a voice memo on the caregiver app. His mother uses it to coordinate everything related to his sister's care. It's one of those apps that logs communication, so there's always a record. The memo was from his sister. She said she was excited to meet the baby. She said it a couple of times, the way she sometimes does when she's really happy about something, just repeating it, and her voice was warm the way it always is. The app logs dates and times. She sent it 3 days after the itinerary was forwarded. His mother controls the app. She helps his sister compose messages, or at least she's present when they're sent, which is just a logistical reality. But his sister said she was excited to meet the baby, and I kept wondering who had told her there would be a baby to meet, and when, and in what context. I sent a message to my mother-in-law. Not a long one, and I didn't copy my husband on it. I told her that if we were out of state when the flight landed, there would be no one at the airport. I didn't ask her to change the dates, didn't suggest alternatives this time, didn't soften it with an apology. I reread it about 5 times before I sent it and sent it anyway. She didn't respond for 4 days. On the 5th day, there was a one-line reply saying she understood. I read it a few times trying to figure out what it meant exactly, whether it meant the dates were changing, or whether it meant she had heard me and was proceeding anyway, or whether it was one of those responses that's technically an answer, but tells you nothing. The itinerary is still on the counter. I put a mug on top of it at some point and left a ring on the paper. And now there's a coffee stain on the arrival city and part of the date, but the time is still legible. 11:47 p.m. The adoption coordinator called on Thursday about something unrelated, a document we needed to re-sign because of a form update, and afterward I sat at my desk for a while without opening anything. The go bag caught my eye from across the room. The zipper slightly open from where I'd checked something inside a few weeks ago and hadn't fully closed it since. I got up and closed the zipper.